Charles Wu, CEO of Fennel.ag. Charles, please go ahead. Take it away.
Great. Let me just check a few things. I'm first going to share my screen. Can you
Mhm.
hear me okay, John?
I can.
Wonderful. Well, I'd like to start with the question and ask everyone in the audience, right? Have you ever wondered why it's so hard for good craft cultivators, growers, to raise capital? And I'll ask you another question and, see the audience is, are you interested in saying no to boring weed, while also finding a way to earn 10x over the next 5 years? Now, we all hear about, consolidation in the market. You've got all these big people coming in, and that's great. But the challenge we have with that is, with big companies, they don't have the diversity and the excitement of all the craft cultivators. And I'm going to tell you a little story of two craft cultivators that we know. One is Angela and one is Chris. Both of them are in their early 40s with good career backgrounds. They have experience in cannabis. They've developed great strains, and they're all motivated to succeed. However, the problem they both face is even though they might have the knowledge and ideas to succeed, to actually get your craft brand out to market, you have a big implementation chasm to cross. And what does implementation mean, right? You've got to build a grow facility, whether it's 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 square feet. That's really hard to do, and it's really hard to make that jump. So, going back, how has Angela been able to succeed? And, Chris is still in the process of trying to raise money to grow, build his facility. What Angela has found and what she works with is a service that we offer called GAS. We call it Growing as a Service. And what GAS does is GAS provides that bridge for these craft cultivators, so they can take their knowledge and ideas, and prior to getting that 10,000 square foot facility built and waiting 18 months and running out of cash, they can actually get to market with their products and start building their brands. Now, what exactly is GAS and what does that mean? So today, GAS, we provide two services. One is for seed production, where we charge $700 a month for a seed cultivation space on a 4x4 square foot area. And that 700 bucks a month provides about 7,000 seeds for the customer every harvest at a price of around 20 cents for feminized seed. We also have a flower offering where we charge 500 bucks a month for a similar type space, and that translates into premium grown indoor flower for about 670 bucks a pound. Now, why does GAS work, or how does it work? We have a platform that allows for customization and the remote management of the actual growing system. So you see here, this is one of our grow technicians you see on the left. He's outfitted with cameras and microphones. And when we're working with our clients, they're actually able to look over the shoulder, provide insight. We follow their SOPs, we follow their procedures and their processes, so that in our system, we're able to grow as they want, as they desire. And the other thing about why it works is we've tied that into a software and SaaS platform we call Alice OS, which is a full-featured control and automation, resource tracking and monitoring and analysis solution for our customers. So, someone like Angela, she has her ideas. She takes her ideas, we just download it, implement it in Alice, and then we implement. Now, the question a lot of people ask now is, okay, you get Angela going and she becomes successful. What happens next? What we're finding is after the craft cultivators are using our service and they've gained success, they don't want to go build their own. They may want to build their own, but they still want us to continue working with them. So in addition to starting in a hosted environment, we're finding with our Alice OS platform and our growing as a service, there's additional recurring options for expansion. So in the case of Angela's particular situation, she's been successful with her seed production, and now she's building out a grow facility, and she's got this grow container, this kind of thing in the middle, and she wants to continue using our service to keep helping her run her business as she builds out the next stage of their facility. We're finding also this a lot because we're in Illinois, and right now there's Illinois caught up in licensing for all their 40 new craft cultivators. Many of them are saying, wow, we actually like this, we want to be running on this, and now that we're running on this, we want to use you for when if we get our license and we build out our 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 or plus square foot facility. So that's been a nice thing we've discovered. So what's going on right now? We currently have a 2,000 square foot pilot site where we've been running gas since the beginning of this year. We're at 100% leased capacity. And from a traction perspective, we are a profitable company. 2019, we had good numbers. 2020, when we launched gas, it's done well. Q4, we had a little bit of a slowdown in the middle of the year, but Q4 is looking good. We are totally booked out for the next year and can't complain. We're just executing. So let's dive into the specifics. So what are our unit economics? So, we mentioned we charge $700 a month for seed. Our OpEx on that comes out to about $250 a month. And our CapEx to build that seed unit or that facility that they can use comes out to about $6,400. So, we amortize that, I think over a 5-year. So we end up, having a gross profit of around $300 a month when we service seeds. And if we're doing flower, it's $500 a month. Our CapEx is a little lower. Oh, yeah, I've got a typo there, but our CapEx is a little lower. It comes out to about $88 a month, amortized over a 5-year. And we run a gross profit of around $211 per unit. So what are we doing? Right now we're sold out of capacity. We have people that want to turn on more service. We have a demand problem, and we need to expand. So we are seeking funding, a combination of equity and debt capital to build out a larger 18,000 square foot expansion facility from where we are at 2,000 square feet. If we have a financial model that we can share, and based on our numbers of what we see and where our market's going, we believe by end of year 2023, we'll be generating around 7 or 8 million in revenue and running at around $3 million in EBITDA. Now, the question every investor wants to hear is, how will you make money if you invest in gas and in us? So first option we see is selling to a strategic partner. What we're finding is a lot of the manufacturers like the model that we give them because we get to the craft cultivators early and we get them running a system, and they are coming to us by saying, hey, can we use our products in your system, or have you run your operations around that? A recent update, this is for you, John, because you heard us last month. We've actually had a manufacturer of containerized grow units that's just come to us and said, hey, we're going to finance 4 of these for you for the state of Illinois, so that your first 4 craft cultivator licensed customers who get licenses, we'll also give you a container for them for that next step, so that you can escalate them into a container so they can keep going down that route. So we see a good model.
Charles, you have 5 minutes left, by the way.
Okay, I'll wrap up soon. Our second option, we see now in terms of people moving on, we see a licensing out of our AllisOS platform and our SOPs and our operations. So we see that's an option. And then our option number 3 is if we keep building this way, we could also look at additional capital and equity raises and going into a Series A. So where we are at right now, we are raising a $1 million bridge. We have raised 200,000 of that since we last presented. So we've got 800K to go, and that's where we're at. And I'll open it up to questions.
Hello, Lindsay. Would you like to take a shot at that?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of craft cultivators. I think the food stock that they provide to all the range of products that we have is sometimes underestimated. Where would you see the opportunities once you have legalization? You're able to cross state by state. Does that make any difference in your model going forward?
I would say, today in our model, we are not growing THC marijuana. We're growing either indoor hemp flower or feminized CBD seeds. So we don't have that issue. Being in Illinois and being in the midst of a state that's legalizing, that's gone from, nothing in January to probably being almost $1 billion market this year. And with all the new license activity, we see a lot on that. We actually, this is a side thing, I have a personal mission where I'm very passionate about social equity. And we have gotten some interest from other states who are interested in our model, because one of the challenges with social equity is, you've got people that are qualified, but they don't have capital. And just getting started, I mean, even in the state of Illinois, your small craft grow facility of 5,000 square feet, it's $5 or $6 million to get that thing going. I mean, it just is what it is. And that's hard to raise. So there's some fascinating possibilities where, I guess this is in some ways, it's like an incubation model. It's more of like a shared co-location model. I come from a telecom background. So we looked at this as like, hey, data centers existed, and 20 years ago you had to build your own data center, and now you go to AWS. We kind of, gas is, growing as a service, right? So it just makes sense for us. And there are some interesting possibilities. I think from our side, we are like in the muck of things and executing. We're just trying to, we're in a situation where it's like, if I can build out, I've got people looking for the service that want to buy, and I just need to solve that problem of building out. So I see that there is a big opportunity, but we haven't really looked into it for out of state, because our in-state opportunity, we just have to, we have to kill what's in front of us.
Okay. Charles, there's 2 questions left. I have a question from Tim, and I don't know if we'll have time to squeeze in Jeff. If you can be really, really quick with Tim, we'll probably get Jeff in there as well. Go ahead, please, gentlemen.
Hey, Charles, great presentation. I think I've said it before. I've seen your presentation. I like the model. I'm looking at the scalability of it, though. I talk about the revenues. I say the revenues for 2019 were really great. 2020, obviously, COVID. But what's happened there? And then could you also just talk about what's your customer acquisition costs?
Well, our revenue, I only stated gas revenues. In 2020 revenues, they're not 2019, they're slightly lower. But we're still doing about 600,000 or 700,000 for 2020. In terms of customer acquisition costs, traditionally what's happened is, and this goes back to 2019 revenues, we offered a lot of training and education on indoor cultivation. So we would run boot camps, we'd run all those sorts of things. And that's how we acquire customers. It's similar to, a company out there. I know I'm going to use tech example because that's where I come from, is Cisco, right? You pay for your Cisco certification to become a networking, a telecom professional. And we do a lot of indoor cultivation training. So what happens is our customer acquisition, I don't want to say it's zero, but our training business gives us a nice customer base or a prospect base of people who've paid us money to learn how to grow indoors, and we just kind of cull it that way. So the training business effectively pays for our customer acquisition.